Good evening, everybody. This is John Stoutinger and Constance with JCX Fishing. Thank you for joining us at our weekly podcast on Interview Day, Wednesday. With us,
Interview day.
yeah, our guest tonight is Corry Null, one of the inaugural fishermen for the NPFL, National Professional Fishing League.
Good to say what that was because I was going to ask.
So we're going to bring him in, and like all podcasts, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask him.
We encourage questions.
Yes, because it makes everything easier and smoother and to get along. All right, and here is Corry. Hey, Corry.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we've been talking for a little bit and having some pretty good conversations about fishing. And if you don't mind, can you give us a little bit of your background?
So fishing. Well, part of my life has always been around fishing. Ever since I was a young kid, because we were really poor. So I got into fishing at a super young age to help feed the family. 5 years old, I'd go out fishing by myself. So
wow.
It's always been there. It was never. I never dreamed of going pro. Like, that was never one of the things I ever dreamed would happen. But fishing was always there. And then when I was 18 years old, I joined the Army. I did 8 years in the military. I got medically retired at 26 years old. And after the Army, it was just really weird because nobody knew their place. Nobody knew what to wear. In the Army, you're told exactly what to do, when to be there, how to do it. It's there. It's laid out, So I kind of had a hard time readjusting to civilian life. And I went down a long road doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And then I got myself some help. And the way that I got into tournament bass fishing was because I had a business. I owned a business, and I couldn't run that business anymore. So part of my business was cutting grass. So I had 2 commercial mowers, and I only needed one after the business. So I posted on Facebook to sell it, and the guy goes, "Would you trade for a nice bass boat?" And I was like, "Well, it depends on what you're talking about." And it was it was a 16-foot 1991 Nitro. It was a TF 170, and it had a 115 Johnson, and he couldn't get it started. And I found out that's why he was trying to trade, is because he couldn't get it to start. So I told him, I said, "Don't worry." I said, "I'll come meet you. I'll bring the mower. If we can get it started, we'll trade even, and we'll be good to go." So I get up there, and he's trying. He can't get it to start. And we checked it had spark, it had everything. So I asked him, I said, "Well, this is carbureted. So where's your vent for your gas cap, or your gas tank?" He goes, "Well, this boat don't have one." I said, "It's got to. It's
Yeah.
So I told him, and he was right in front of it. And I said, "Unscrew that thing right there in front of you." He unscrewed it. I told my buddy that I took with me, I said, "Hit it." He hit it, and it fired right up. And I said, "All right, we'll take it home."
Oh my gosh.
So I got the boat. We traded. I mean, he followed through. He did the right thing, and I got the boat back home, and it just kind of sat. I was like, "What do I do with it now?" And then Kentucky Pro Bass Warrior does a thing where they take active duty veterans, out for a day of fishing, and me and my buddy decided, well, hey, let's go try it out. See what it's like to fish a tournament. So we went out and we practiced, didn't know what in the heck we were doing, just going bass fishing, just throwing whatever. And we entered the first tournament. We took second place and big fish in my first ever bass tournament. Like, never fished a tournament in my life. I took big fish in second place. And after that, like, it was all she wrote. Like, it's like just fishing grabbed a hold of me and did not let go. So I fished a handful of tournaments in that old 1991 Johnson. Like, I fished me and my buddy Zach Ferrone, he's an NPFL pro. We fished a SOS Special Operations Survivors tournament against like Shaw Grigsby, Brian Thrift, Brett Ayler was there. I mean, all these big names and all these $70,000 boats, and here I am in my little $3,000 boat. But it was just. I mean, the adrenaline you get from before takeoff. It's not even about the day of fishing. It is before takeoff and that feeling, and that is what drove me to go further into competitive bass fishing.
Yeah.
But that's
pretty cool.
Much me.
All right, man.
That's awesome. What a way to start.
Yeah.
Especially taking second and biggest fish. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge tournament or anything, but I
but
think there was
still.
20-something boats. First tournament, 20-something boats. I mean, and then I was so nervous before because you're hearing all these guys like, yeah, I caught a 6-pounder out of this creek last week. I'm like, man, I ain't never caught a 6-pounder in my life. I don't even know what to do. But
you really got that big.
It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, that's a lot better than my first tournament, man.
Why? How'd yours first one go?
Well, my buddy Steve and I, we were in the Army. We went to high school together. We were in the Army. Didn't know we were both in the Army together, and got out roughly the same time. And I took the yeah. We were both on unemployment, just getting out, and so a local bar decided to have a fishing tournament. So we got his brother's bass boat, brought it to the house, parked it up, made sure there was fuel, plenty of power in it, got the batteries all charged up, went out drinking, came the night before the tournament. I mean, it was a little small, like 15, 20 boat tournament, bunch of people at the bar. And so we went out, came back, and blasted off in that morning. So we both looked at each other. We're like, dude, I'm too freaking drunk to do this. So we went home until noon. Slept until noon. Came back for the weigh-in. I mean, we fished for an hour and a half or so. But gosh. I mean, we still did okay. We caught a couple of fish, and oh man, that was my first ever tournament. So. Yeah.
Sheepers.
That sounds like me. That sounds like me last year on my birthday trip. My wife took me to Barkley, and I don't drink a lot. I really don't. But I guess I got a wild hair in my butt, and I was like, I want some beer. So I got some beer, and I don't know how many I drink, but the deal was like I would go out every morning. She would sleep in. I would come back, pick her up. We'd go, have lunch or breakfast somewhere on the lake. Just a little thing like that. I went out the next morning. I made like a few casts, and then for the next 45 minutes, I was laying on the front deck of the boat, just staring at the sky, like, please stop spinning.
Hey, at least you weren't on like Erie or Ontario with the 4 and 5 footers.
That would have been bad.
I'd have stayed home. But Justin Dahl says, "Hey Corey, what's up?"
Hey, what's up, Justin?
And Chris Boring says he doesn't even know what he's doing.
Justin only gets mad at me because he's always like, you ended your live and I didn't get to see it. So, hey, this time you get to see it, Justin.
There you go.
Right. He was probably standing in line waiting,
Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
I'd do it 100 times over. I didn't want to get out. I did not want to get out. So I got 4 herniated discs. So I got one. I got the C5 in my neck, and then L4 or L5 S1 down in the low back. And I wasn't supposed to go on my last deployment. And then right after they left, I re-enlisted because I was in physical therapy and all this kind of stuff. I was trying to get better. And when your battalion commander calls and asks to speak to you directly, and you're just a little E5 sergeant. So he calls me. He's like, "You can re-enlist, but you can't deploy." And I'm like, "Sir, I had nothing to do with that. I would love to be there with my guys. Whatever." He goes, "Well, if you want to be here, I'll see you in 2 weeks." All of a sudden, everything in my med pros, which is like where all your medical stuff is, went from red to green, and I was on a plane. And
Whoa.
So I went on the last deployment, and I was one of those NCOs that if I wasn't out there busting my butt with you, then we're not doing it. Basically,
Right.
you know, I worked with my guys. You know, my guys didn't work for me; they worked with me.
Right.
And just the 6 months of being over there, just war. I mean, I got to where I was like peeing on myself, and I even pooped on myself one time. So I came back, and I had to go see my primary care provider, and she goes, "You might want to think about getting a P3 profile and getting out." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. I don't
Right.
want to get out. You know, I'm like almost halfway there. I can push through. I'll be fine." 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. "Hey, I'm your Pueblo for your med board," and I'm like, "No, you're not." And I hung up on.
No, you're not.
And I probably hung up on this guy like 2 or 3 times, and then finally my first sergeant called me into his office, and he goes, "Sergeant, you're getting med boarded. Either you can do it by yourself, or I'll have your platoon sergeant or your squad leader escort you to every one of your appointments." And finally I gave in, and I just went through with it, and it was probably for the best because my body's broke. My body is broke.
Yeah.
It's sad. I'm only 32, and it's like I want to go run. I want to go do this, and then some days I wake up and it's like I don't even want to get out of bed. I just want to lay,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But the only thing to do is just to keep going, you know, because I can't stop. I'm only 32 years old. I'm not letting them cut on me, you know, especially with that.
Yeah, you're just a young pup. Yeah.
So I'm gonna push through it until I have more bad days than good days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Why'd you give me that look? He is a young pup. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
What do you
you're
want me to
not
say?
you're not much younger than her.
My wife's
Like-
probably older than she is.
What's that?
I said my wife's probably older than Constance.
No, your wife's only 25, man.
I would. No, I don't wish. She looks 25.
All right.
That's only because she's Korean.
Well, I'm not gonna ask her age, but I'm 38, so.
She'll be 44 this year.
Oh, all right. Hey. All right.
So see,
Hey, is there a
she
sign that
used
says watch out for flying pans and pork belly?
to tell- so she used to tell people that she robbed the cradle, and I'd be like, "No, she didn't. I robbed the nursing home. Get it right."
There you go. Nice.
There you go.
But it's I don't know. I think with my childhood and the way that I was brought up and had to mature so easy, like we get along so much better than somebody
Absolutely.
my own age. So it works out.
Good.
She's my sugar mama.
Yeah.
She's the reason I can fish professionally and follow the
Sugar
stream.
mama.
Yeah.
Well, John is 15 years older than I am, so yeah. But
See,
I'm way more mature than he is, so I don't know what happened.
I'm still 12.
Yeah, right. All guys are. They never go past 12.
Now,
Nope.
Pete
We
plays.
reach 12. Our body ages, but our
Yeah.
minds do not.
Yes, your mind peaks, and then you just get taller. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get any taller.
I didn't
No.
either. I didn't either.
I'm still just as tall as I was when I was 12, just 5'6".
See, it must be something that went on in Fulton because Pete Place and I went to school together with me, and he's 50 and his wife is 25.
Yeah,
See?
Must have been the water or something up there by the
must have been.
nuclear power plants.
Must have been.
So how did you get involved in the
I'm getting more
NPFL?
coffee.
Okay.
Mine's half
So,
gone. Cold.
The NPFL, so I found out they were coming out, and I did probably just like every other angler, you know, that wanted to join it. I applied and went through the background process, and I got a phone call and from Brad Fuller, one of the owners. He called me and he interviewed me, and he, you know, asked all the questions, and he goes, "What if you show up to your first tournament and you got Kevin Van Dam on one side of you and you got, James Worldwide Watson on the other side?" He says, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I'm just going to go fishing." And
Well, for one, you're going to be in the wrong circuit.
So
No.
So I said, I'm just gonna go fishing. You know, I mean, that's what we're gonna do. And
Sorry about that, Corey.
no, you're fine. I think my confidence is actually what got me into the league because, you know, I'm not one of those guys that, you know, I haven't been fishing, you know, in tournaments for years. You know, I started my tournament fishing in 2019, and you know, we're hunting an animal we can't see, and I
Yep.
realize that, you know, and we are not in control. You know, I don't care how many anglers you put in a room. You know, some of them are going to tell you, yeah, I can make the. We're not in control of what happens on the water. You know, if that fish don't bite, then there's nothing we can do about it. We can't go down there and grab it by the neck and say, you better bite my hook. You know, it just don't work that way. But
Yeah.
I think it was my confidence that got me into the league. You know,
Okay.
and made them say yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're not going to succeed in too much if you don't have any confidence.
exactly. I mean, I don't know. I just don't. So I don't have fear, and sometimes that can be a really good thing, and then other times, you know, it can be a bad thing. But I just hit life head on, man. You know, and just run wide open. So
Yeah.
what? But yeah, that's how I got into the league. I haven't done that great. But you know, it's been a learning process, you know, and I've gotten better every tournament. You know, and I think as I go on, I'll continue to get better, and eventually I will hold one of those trophies. It's just going to take, you know, it being my time, the right place, the right time, the right bite, you know, and just like it happens for everybody, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's what it's going to take. But you know, every time I'm on the water, I'm learning something. You know, I mean, the day you stop learning, you might as well go ahead and dig your own grave because you know what else is there to live for? You know, there's always something to learn. There's always something new, and you know that's what I'm always doing. You know, like today, I tied on a swim bait on a belly hook, and I got out that and one other rod. You know, and I said I want to build confidence in a swim bait on a belly hook. And that's what I did. I just threw that swim bait on the belly hook, threw it. I got, you know, I caught one, and then I turned around and there's like 4 schools of bass just all. So we went and chased those around for a little while, and my buddy ended up catching 4 out of that, you know, out of the different schools. But I just want to, you know, I just try to push myself to learn every day, you know, try something new, you know. Before I even got into this league, I've never pitched and flipped a day in my life, and now that's one of my favorite techniques is to go down the bank and pitch and flip, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just learning, and yeah, Michael Bell said it best, you know, learning new tactics and approaches. It's always, and it goes back to one of my favorite things about fishing too is it's the unknown, you know, like.
Yes.
You don't know if you're going to go out and you're going to catch 100. You don't know if you're going to go out and you don't catch anything. You know, there's so much unknown, and I think, you know, it's like a commercial that you see. I think it's when you're watching Bass Live. You know, they talk about the rod being like a magical wand because you never know what's on the other end of it or what could be on the other end of it, and just never know. You know, you try something. Just try some crazy stuff. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, it's weird because I fish out of the back of the boat, and you know, you talk to the boaters or whatever, and you, oh man, I can't believe that guy's here. Or Travis Manson's here, or this guy's here. Or, you know, it's like you're not fishing against them. You know, you're fishing against what's underneath you.
Yep.
If he catches 20 pounds and you catch 22, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. I mean, you fish against yourself a lot of the time. You know.
Yes, I agree there.
A lot of people don't realize how much of a mental game it is, especially, you know, in the NPFL we don't have co-anglers, You
Right.
know, and unless you're lucky enough to draw one of the 10 camera guys, you don't have anybody to talk to all day. So, you know, you can really get into your own head. I mean, and my first tournament and on Lake Eufaula, I spun out, and it was the first time I ever spun out. And I never knew what people were talking about when they said spinning out. And I was like, well, whatever that is. And then I found out, like, I couldn't cast. I couldn't drive the boat. Like, I just had to sit down and just sit there. It's like, oh my, and all because I lost one big fish. And then it just all went downhill from there, you know?
Yeah.
I see.
So, and then, you know, and then you start thinking to yourself, it's like, oh, why am I even there? Or why? I just want to quit. And then you got to fight yourself through that, you know, for that next bite. And then once you get the next bite, you're like, I'm the best in the world, and I can keep doing this all day. You know?
Yeah.
It's such a mental roller coaster, you know?
Yeah, and it's tough if you get a bite at 8 o'clock in the morning, then
nothing for like 3 hours.
Then at noon you get your second bite, you know.
That's me every NPFL tournament.
Really?
I get a bite within like the first 30 minutes, and then I go for hours with nothing or missing fish or, you know, whatever.
I have something. Don't even cast for the first 3 hours.
There you go. Problem solved. Look at that. We're problem solvers around here.
Just go do donuts around the other anglers.
There you go.
Exactly.
You can spin out with the boat and not in your mind, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
But
so
you know,
just go out there and be like, Marco. See if anybody's playing along.
I've kind of gotten down though now, and it might sound really corny, but I go, just keep casting, you know, like Dory and Nemo, just keep swimming.
Hey. That's all right.
Yeah. See,
whatever works, right?
See, he's going back to that 12-year-old mind.
Yeah.
Right there.
Here, fishy, right?
Here, fishy. I saw a different post on Facebook that said that. It says like, if you never said that while trying to fish, then you're a damn liar or something like that. Everybody says that.
Oh yeah. I say it all the time.
Song. I made up a whole song at one time, like about here, little fishy, come bite my hook so I can take you home and cook. Like I made some just some random out of nowhere, just being bored.
He's gonna release his first album next year.
Yeah,
it's gonna drop.
Yeah, watch out for it.
You and Luke, huh? You and Luke.
I'm gonna get with Luke Duncan and we're gonna do something together. You know?
There you go.
I like it.
There you go. Get a little fat cat in there.
Yeah. We'll have him in the background dancing.
There you go. There you
go. Put him in a tube top.
With a tutu on, right?
Oh my goodness. So Joe has a question. He says, "What do you think about the Thousand Islands weather this weekend?"
Oh, he's down in Kentucky.
Well,
yeah, I'm in Kentucky, so I wouldn't know about that weather.
So
my friend went there for vacation this weekend. She said it was gorgeous.
Yeah. So when is your next tournament?
Sorry, Joe, we don't have an answer.
It is coming up in 21 days.
Okay.
It's going to be on Lake Pickwick.
Where's that?
Lake Pickwick, Tennessee, or it's Counts, Tennessee is where we're going to be launching out of. I'm really excited about this one because it's I feel like it's the first lake the NPFL is going to put us on that's going to have some I just went blank.
Don't spin out now. You're doing great.
It's the first lake I think they're going to put us on with contour lines.
Okay.
So I'm kind of excited about that one. You know, it's I feel like it's going to be typical, you know, Midwestern Tennessee River fishing. You know, ledges and finding schools and stuff like that. So I'm kind of excited because, you know, that's a lot of the. I love cranking. I love, you know, dragging jigs, you know, stuff like that. So I'm really excited for this tournament. Hopefully I can turn it around from the last ones because Lake Eufaula was a brush pile event, and I spent too much time up shallow thinking they were coming to the bank when they showed up on the last day. The last couple hours, they showed up furious and biting. And then Lake Wright Patman, it was nothing but flipping and pitching bushes. That's all you could do. And then the Harris chain, it was Kissimmee grass,
Yeah.
And I mean, a little bit of offshore stuff, but I'm really excited to finally get to somewhere it's got some points and some rocks and, some ledges and something else other than grass and bushes. But, well, I take that back because I do love flipping bushes. I hate flipping grass, but I love flipping bushes. There's something about flipping in there and that whole bush goes to shaking and the line starts running and, it's on.
Yeah. See, you need to talk to the guys and get them to come north of the Mason-Dixon line.
We're coming. We'll be up there in August to Lake Winnebago in Wisconsin. That's the only northern lake they got for us this year. We were trying to come to the Mississippi Pool 7, 8, 9, but they when the league was trying to get everything ordered, they put somebody else right on top of us and asked us to move, and so they changed the schedule. And La Crosse, Wisconsin's the only one, but everything that I've studied and looked at that lake, it's shallow, largemouth lake, so it's not a chance to really get on a bunch of smallmouth like, if we would go to Erie or, Champlain or somewhere like that. But I mean,
you wouldn't like them. That's all big fish area. You wouldn't like it. Stay out.
Yeah, I like little fish, Dink Master over here.
There you go.
Dink Master. Because that's really what I feel like a lot of times. Because one of my local lakes that I go to, there's so many bass in it that they just can't grow. So you can catch 80 bass a day, but they're all going to be 12 to 14 inches. You're not going to catch any big ones.
I'll get you one.
But it's a lot of fun when you get on them like that, though, no matter the size.
She just shushed me.
Yeah, she just shushed because we're trying to get her to be relatively quiet, and so we're trying to get Xander to be relatively quiet for the live.
We do our lives,
and
so all the time I'm like, okay, go in the living room. So she just went shh to me. She just shushed me. Asked me for a chocolate chip cookie, then shushed me.
Oh
yeah. But here I
yeah.
am getting the cookie. So who's winning?
We're not going to tell you who runs the house.
I bet money she's 3.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because the one that runs my house, he's 7.
Okay.
And yeah, he's in charge wherever he is. I don't want to tell him that while he's too close around because he'll get a big head.
Yeah.
He already thinks he's a pro at everything. I mean, he's if he does it once, he's a pro. So you got to watch him.
All right.
he's a funny kid though.
Yeah, I think all kids think they're the best at everything until it's proven wrong. Then it was then they had a bad day. That's all.
And I don't have the heart to prove him wrong, on everything yet. Like I'm slowly picking away at him.
Yeah.
Like he used to think he was faster than me, and then I had to beat him in a foot race, and now he knows. Like, okay, Daddy's fast though. So we sometimes you still have to assert your dominance because he's something else.
Yeah, we I'm trying to get Xander to understand that she can't always win. But
Stuart is 7, and I'm still trying to teach him that. So you got about 5 to 8 more years thinking they're always going to win.
Yeah, that's okay though. It could a lot worse things that could be happening. So if anyone has any questions for Corry about his experiences, about techniques, or anything like that, or fishing down south, don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
Michael says great video, and
awesome.
Thanks, Michael.
So I don't know. My favorite techniques that I want to say I'm a well-rounded angler. You know, I kind of, and I'm gonna use the whole fish the moment again, but you know, I mean, I kind of let the fish tell me what to do. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't force them crankbaits if they want soft plastics. You know, I mean, you gotta kind of let the fish tell you what to do.
Right.
But every time you go out, it's okay, challenge. Let me figure out what they're doing. You know, but I love throwing crankbaits. I love throwing Texas rig and jigs. That's
Okay.
my 3 favorite techniques of all time. That and top water. I'm not gonna, top water is my all-time favorite, which I think it's every bass angler's.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, putting fish in the boat, I'm either cranking Texas rig or throwing a big half-ounce jig, and that's my favorite ways to catch fish.
Okay.
It makes it a lot easier, because I'm sponsored by Soft Plastic Company and Tungsten. So boom, that's the Texas rig portion. I have a jig sponsor, so boom, that's my jig portion, and then I paint my own crankbaits. So I guess that's why they're my 3 favorites, because
Yeah.
it's what's readily available.
If you want to show us some of your crankbaits, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, so I got this here. It's just a bluegill pattern. I went a little lighter on the front of the belly. You can see it's a little light yellow instead of the bright orange. And sometimes, to me, that little minute difference from that to that, also give the stripes. This is just a little 1.5 dives, 3 to 5 foot. And I mean, it's just a simple bluegill pattern without all the purples and stuff like that. And the reason I go with such a light green and stay away from because if the bass are chasing shad, but there's bluegill in the area, you can still catch them because this is such a light color, with the black and then the bottom. This is what I just did the other day. I showed it to you a little earlier.
Yeah.
But this is just a coffin bill. It dives around 9 foot. And, it's just a little shad pattern that we got going on. A little bit of fluorescent yellow with some light blue, and then we got the gold flaking with the black. I just mixed the gold and black together and sprayed it. Well, I can show you this one. This is just like a reverse crawl, black and white. So sometimes I've noticed that sometimes you need to change it up, make it a little different. Like I'll throw a white skirt on a jig with a black trailer, or something like that. So my thought process with this, is white's always the undercolor. White's always the base. So I went with a black base and then did the white just to make it something different, for those fish to see, so. But, it's just trying to think outside the box. And to be honest, with painting crankbaits, it's harder to please humans than it is to fish. Because I've caught fish on crankbaits that my son has painted for me, and they're just like splatter of this, splatter of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't painted a lot lately because I did it all before the season started. I painted a lot before the season started. I painted for myself, but I do paint for other people here and there. It's not something that I do constantly, but I do enjoy the challenge. When somebody reaches out and like, hey, can you paint this? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe we'll see, and just give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of fun. I've always been really artistic anyway, like with drawing. I went through a tattoo phase. I tattooed for a couple years and stuff like that. So I've always had that artistic. Yeah, I'm covered in them. So
yeah, me too. Mine are all brown spots. A lot of people call them freckles.
Mine are blue.
Yeah, there you go.
So I got the drunk elephant. I don't know if you can see my drunk elephant. There he is. Yeah, he's my drunk elephant. I got baby Groot. I got Baby Groot
Do you?
tattooed.
Oh,
So,
Groot.
but it was just like, I don't even know where it started. When I was like early 20s, I was like, I want a sleeve, and then I just finished it off last year, so it was like a whole process. But
Oh
But
yeah,
I've always
I want
been,
at least a half sleeve, but I think I'm in the wrong line of business for that. I got plenty of tattoos, but I really want a half sleeve, but it has to be done like just so.
yeah.
I have it all planned out, but
Tattoos now are starting to become more acceptable too. So
oh yeah, they're fine with it at my work as long as it's not overly
Okay.
distracting. But it's just one of those things like, well,
Trade
I don't know.
You can always trade him cookies for a tattoo.
that
Shade what's that?
cookies for tattoos. Yes.
You and me, buddy. So wait, you mean like you were tattooing or you were getting
Yeah.
tattoos?
No, I tattooed for like 2 to 3 years.
That's what I thought you meant at first, but I wasn't sure.
Hey, good thing she's
Listen,
pretty.
I'm gonna come visit you. Make whatever cookies you want.
I haven't tattooed in a while, so it might be a little shaky. I've been doing more airbrushing than tattooing.
I haven't even been tattooed in a while. Let me tell you. Jonesing for some ink, but it's just been too long.
I do have a really good tattoo artist. He does $600 for an 8-hour session.
Hey, that's not bad.
So
That's not bad at all.
That's what I did with him, and it was about 5 hours. No, I'll give him a little more credit now. It was about 6 hours through, and he's like, "Man, I'm getting tired." I was like, "I don't care. You're tattooing. I'm not done. Let's go."
Yep.
So,
That's how it was with my foot tattoo. The guy kept like stopping, taking cigarette breaks. I'm like, "Can we get this done?" Oh my gosh. He's like, "I gotta take a break." Really, just tattoo, bro. We'll be done. Just power through. My gosh.
yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like he didn't even want to do it at first. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna chicken out and blah blah." I'm like, I want a tattoo. Just give me a tattoo. Of course, I go in looking like this. You can't see any of my tattoos, so he thought it was like my first one or whatever. I'm like, "Oh no, I got a whole back piece. Don't you worry." Like, oh
That's
gosh.
like my wife's first one that she got when we were together. It was on her ribs, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to be there because you're gonna cry."
Yeah.
No, she didn't. Which was disappointing.
Yeah.
I want to just watch her cry, but no.
Did you have your phone out to record it and all that, or was that be?
Yeah, I was
cell
ready,
phone?
man.
Oh man.
I was ready, but she just toughed through it, and I was like, "Who am I marrying?"
A warrior princess right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who am I
You're like, well, I
marrying?
can't. I can't mess with her.
It's
She'll
like
whoop me.
This lady's tough.
Well, she.
No, I
Okay.
don't have to worry about her whooping me. It's her mom that I have to worry about. Her mom is 73 this year, 72 right now. She's 4'9", and I'm 5'6", and she could kick me in the head.
Whoa.
Her mom was a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah, don't mess with her.
I don't even mess with her mom. Like, I was messing around with her one day, and like we were play fighting,
Yeah.
And I think I like reached around and I slapped her on the side of the head, and before I knew it, her foot was right here, and she was holding it. And I was like,
Hey, you know what we should do?
Mess with that lady.
Hey, we should do a fundraiser, man,
We should.
Oh boy.
for Fishing for Autism, man. You and her going at it.
Oh, we should do that. We could do it. We could live stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Grandma would fight, right? And then I would lose, but we could get people to bet on the fight for the fundraiser.
And then we could sell your boat in the end.
No.
Boat for sale.
Okay.
No.
If you lose, we'll sell your boat.
Oh no! Don't do that. No, I'm gonna kick Grandma's butt. I don't want to kick Grandma's butt.
That's a no-win situation for you, man.
Yeah.
But no, I can't get rid of my boat. I love my boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Betty White. So my boat's name is Betty White because she's
I
old,
love it.
but she's pretty.
See?
There you go.
My boat's a 2011, so it's 10 years old. So I named her Betty White because she's old, but she's pretty.
There you go.
There you go.
And that, and before the wrap, it was a white boat too.
Oh,
So
okay.
it kind of helped with the name. But now
Right.
it's Betty wiping her bass reaper dress. So
Yeah.
I like it. I
So-
like it a lot.
I really think we got something going here. You getting your butt whooped by grandma.
yeah, I mean, I've took some butt whoopings before, but I don't think I've ever taken any that would be that embarrassing. You know, I don't know if I'd be able to pull up to the dock anymore. You know, if we did a fundraiser, I'd get laughed at and probably beat up all the time.
Hey, Luke. Hey, I bet you Luke wouldn't even say a word, man.
No.
Or Fat Cat.
No, I wouldn't get picked on by any of them at all. Dave,
Nope.
Dudley, none of them would pick on me. They wouldn't pick on me at all.
No, they wouldn't.
Not it'd be like John Cox. He would pick on me. Let's see who else. I'm sure there's a few other ones.
Yeah.
But you know how it is with tournaments. You know, you dock next to all your buddies. You know, it's like you save a spot for your buddy to pull his boat. So it's always the same people.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when the season started, none of us knew each other. You know, and the first tournament, we're all sitting at the dock and everybody's all quiet. You know, on Facebook Live, we're doing time tackle, and you know now we show up and you know it's like shut up, you fat butthole. You know, and talking back to each other, and you know, so it's really and. I really like that about the NPFL also is because you're fishing against the same guys every time.
Right.
So, you know, you build friendships, you know, inside of the competition, you build friendships and I mean, I've gained friends that, you know, I'll keep forever from fishing, you know, just from being in the NPFL and all that type of stuff. And it's a fun environment too, you know, because they encourage you to bring your families, you know, they want your kids to ride through on the boat and come on stage with you and hold fish, you know, and that's something else that really drew me to the NPFL is, you know, they're trying to get back to the grassroots of bass fishing, you know, and it was a family sport, you know, you brought your family to weigh in and, you know, everybody was there, you know, and that's what they're really trying to get back to with doing the, you know, the trailered weigh-ins and all that kind of stuff. So, the ownership group they really do care about the anglers. You know, you can feel that sense of care, you know, and it's definitely, you know, the first 2 years, the inaugural year right now, and then next year it's probably filled up. But that third year, if you feel like you're ready to go pro and they start the application process again, apply. And, you know, it goes to everybody. Apply for it. You know, if you get in, I mean, you get in, just go fishing. You know, I mean, that's all there really is to it. You'll learn a lot, you know, and you'll definitely have a good time. You know, whether it's just fishing new lakes that you never fished before or, you know, different states or whatever the case may be. But it's definitely a good time. If you can get some sponsors behind you and you're doing well enough to go pro, it's definitely a good time.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it.
I mean, I'm good to go then. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the only thing I need is a boat and money, and I'm good.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I got the boat, but I'm running out of money. I need to get
Yeah.
I do. I need to get a check cash this year for sure, a good one. But we'll get there.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I mean, everybody. The last few tournaments, you know, they haven't been that great. Which, you know, and I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, 1 day tournaments are hard. You know, try staying on fish for 3 days.
Right.
You know, because they don't cut. You know, it's 104 anglers for 3 days of competition. So, you know, I mean, it's a challenge because, you know, with the other leagues as they cut, it opens up new spots for you to fish and this and that and the other. But this, whatever you find in practice that nobody else is on, that's what you pretty much got to stay on because everything else, somebody's going to be on it. There's 104 other guys that are going to be on it somewhere. So,
yeah.
But Yeah, that's another thing I like about the NPFL. You know, at the same time is there's no cuts. You know, there's no we're going to cut this many this day, this many this way. It's all the whole field, all 3 days. You know, so you could have a good first day, screw up the second day, and have a real good third day, and still make a check. Whereas that screw up on the second day normally would get you cut.
Right.
You know, and now you still got a chance to dig yourself back up. So that's really fun part too. You know, anytime. I mean, all you got to do is get to 36th place, and you can cut a check. You know, but
Wow.
it's easier said than done.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
It's a
And
lot easier said than done.
you know, it's like, I can beat 30% of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and then next thing you know, you're like 98. It's like, that 30%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I? So I have a strategy for you.
Here we go.
Ready.
All right. Either
Right.
okay. I got two things. Either find a way to stop Sukup. All right.
Yeah, that's one way.
Or get an aluminum boat.
I think what I'm going to start doing is everybody has an aluminum boat, like Keith Carson,
Yeah.
Sukup.
Yeah.
I mean, those two names right there are the two winners. John Sukup won the first one. Carson won the second one. Sukup won the third one. I'm just going to start taking their boat plugs out. I'm going to get me some scuba gear, and I'm going to go scuba diving before the tournament, pull their boat plugs. So I don't have to worry about it.
Hey, you don't need to do that, man. You need to get a drill. Because I'm sure they'll get a plug sooner or later.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
I'm
but
feeling
no, we're all joking, guys. So
Yeah. It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
You know, and what's so funny is for the last hour of the Harris Chain event, I was fishing right behind. Me and Sukup were in the same area. He
okay.
was 100 yards from me when he caught his 7-pounder. I watched him catch it, and I'm like, But,
Yeah.
you know, it just goes to show you, if it's your time, it's your time, you know? I mean,
Exactly.
But that dude, it don't matter where you put that guy. I mean, I tip my hat to John Sukup, because it don't matter if it's offshore, if it's flipping, whatever it is. I mean, the guy can straight catch him.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he is a master. He is a master on that Garmin.
Yes.
But no matter what you do with the electronics, you still have to catch him.
That's it. You know?
You know?
You get, you still have to trigger that bite, you know,
Yeah.
no matter, you know, what it is. You still have to trigger that bite somehow, you know, so you can have all the electronics in the world. You can sit there and watch the fish swimming on a live camera, but that fish has to react. It has to bite before anything else can happen, you know.
Yeah.
And, we can only do so much.
Right.
And that's kind of what I based it on. You know, I did my job. If they bid, I set the hook. You know, and if I do my job and I execute, then I did my job. The fish just have to do theirs.
Yeah.
But fish, for some reason, I guess I'm not paying the fish enough because they're not biting enough in these tournaments. I guess I need to slip them a few Benjamins. You know, like throw the largemouth a few Benjamins or something. Maybe they'll bite more. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I just thought of another plan for you.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. This one was a little more feasible. Switch electronics with Sukup.
That's a good idea.
See, he's thinking now.
I'll take his 12-inch screen because I'm sure he's got a 12-inch screen, and I'll trade him his 12-inch for my 9-inch.
He won't know
the
the
difference. All
difference.
the difference in the world.
There you go.
Make all the difference in the world.
See?
I'm gonna have to call Sukup when we get off, see if I can make that happen.
Right? Or just grab his chip, one of the two.
Yeah, that'll work too. Wait till practice is over though.
Yeah.
Wait till practice is over, then grab his chip.
Just say, hey John, you mind if we travel together?
He was passing me. it was so funny because he was going into a canal I was fishing the mouth of at the last event, and he was idling by. I was like, "Hey, John." So he cut his motor off, and I was like, "Hey, fire this school up real quick so I can catch a few." But he didn't do it. He kept driving. So I
Some
guess I might
people-
have to steal his chip.
in it for herself.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, it's all good fun. If you're not having fun on the water, then why are you doing it?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it all started as, and as serious as it is, fishing for $50,000, and so much money on the line and stuff like that. I mean, you still have to go out and be able to have a good time, because if you're going fishing and you're stressed out and you're doing all this, like, you might as well just go to work.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you might as well just take your butt to work, quit going fishing, because that's all it
Yeah.
is. But that's when it comes to being resilient. If you're not getting bit, try something else. If that don't work, try something else. I mean, eventually you're going to run into the right thing, and it'll work out for you. So
Yeah.
But just, I mean, that goes back to trying new techniques and working, on your. I call it my toolbox or my tackle box, whatever you want to call it. But just I learned different techniques from different people. Like I watched a YouTube video with Fat Cat. He calls it the Bobby rig, but it's basically a Texas rig and he takes his bobber stop and he pegs his sinker, and in between the sinker and the bait, he'll put a skirt. So now you got your Texas rig weedless setup, but it looks like a jig. It's got a skirt on it,
Yep.
So it's a little different. You can throw it in those places you can't throw a jig, but it still gives that same presentation. And that's one I took, and I use that a lot. I'll use that a lot with like swim baits, stuff like that.
Okay, now you're talking too much, man. Don't be giving away all the good. Nah, I'm only picking.
That's my problem. I'll talk way too much.
No, that's all right.
Going. You forget. See, I'm from Georgia originally, right? So that's this thing with Southerners. We're super quiet, but once you get us talking, you can't shut us up. Right? My parents used to be friends with this old drunk guy, and every time you go to leave, let me tell you something real quick. He'd tell you, and you go
2 hours later.
And he's at your car window. Hold on, let me tell you something real quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, before I forget, I wanted to mention, a while back we had the giveaway show with MC, and we gave away some cookies.
Oh.
Yes.
Corey won some cookies.
Delicious.
Thank you.
I still have. How many cookies are in there? 2 or 3?
2.
I got 2 cookies left.
There was 4. There was 4 before the show.
You still have them?
Oh, I trust me. Like, I am taking my time with them. That's how good they are, right? So I eat all the other cookies, and then I'll have one of those. Like that, I'm telling you. Like, when I first opened them in Florida, and I took a bite when I did the video, and I was like, oh, these are great, So then I gave a bite to my family. I was like, here, try these. And they started talking about trying to steal the cookies from me. So I ended up having to hide them, and I got it away from the rest of them. Now it's just my wife I got to watch out for. Because I came home the other day and I just saw cookie crumbs in the Ziploc bag. I was like, no, she ate them all. But she didn't, so we're good.
Well, it's so funny that you say that, because I was thinking that you said you're going to be in Tennessee in 21 days. I was like, I wonder if I could ship them some more cookies. But
Yeah.
yes, please. So wait, did you freeze them, or are they like rock hard now?
No.
They're still soft?
Throw them.
Don't throw them.
See if you can catch.
Let me see it. You could have hit them over the bar. But yeah, look. She'll show you. Don't eat them.
No football.
No sizzle. Yeah, they're not. They're still super soft cookies. They're not hard. Like
Don't break them all up.
they're still.
Wow.
super
And that
soft.
was that's one of my newer recipes that I was playing around with. So
I'm not.
They're
kidding.
like,
That's the best peanut butter cookie I've ever eaten.
oh my God.
I love peanut butter cookies. Like that is one of the best peanut butter cookies I've ever eaten. And
Thank you
I like
so
how
much.
You did it old school style too with the fork.
You
I
gotta.
know.
There's no other way to
I
make a
know.
peanut butter cookie.
Because that's how my grandma used to make them. So when I saw the fork marks, I was like, "Yep, these cookies are spot on." I didn't even have to taste it. I just needed to see the fork marks.
Well, thank you so much. That really does mean a lot. I really appreciate you saying that. I have an order that I have to fill that's peanut butter chocolate chips. So I'm gonna do that recipe with some mini chocolate chips in there. So
I'm glad you showed some cookies, you know.
there may be some leftovers headed your way. I don't know. Because she only ordered a dozen, so
I will gladly accept them.
be like, oh no, I will
Peanut
take
butter
your
chocolate
leftovers.
Hey, after we get off here, send us your wife's name. We'll send her cookies.
Okay, Misty. It's Misty.
Okay.
Miss.
She just looked at me and she goes, "Peanut butter chocolate chip."
Yeah, girl, I'll hook you up.
Thank you.
She said, "Thank you."
And then Kenneth commented here, aw, it's a
It's my
baby.
gremlin.
Kenneth commented, he says, we all want cookies, let's be honest here.
You want cookies? You want cookies?
Oh,
You want cookies?
oh, the babes.
So this is a Brussels Griffon.
God bless
He's
you.
a Belgian rat hunting dog.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about dogs, so you're
The
speaking
only
Greek
thing
to
she's
me.
good for is laying on the back of the couch and barking at cars driving by.
Well, that's
And
what
people.
dogs are for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to bark at cars.
I'm surprised we've been on here 58 minutes and there hasn't been one dog bark yet.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's really kind of shocking because normally.
Hey, you know where those cookies went, right?
To the dog.
I got them right here. I got somebody to put the rest of them on the boat.
Yeah, you did say that there was some crumbs and stuff missing.
Yeah.
How long ago was it? That was,
A month?
yeah.
But hey,
Holy cow.
see, we only wanted you on here to make sure we're still kicking after those cookies.
Oh, we're good to go.
Nah, I'm only
Good
playing.
to go.
Yeah, so we've been going at this for almost an hour, just having a great conversation with Corey, and now it's your turn, man. Let's hear about some of your partners that you have.
Yeah.
Give them a quick shout out, and
Besides me
I
now,
was
I'm his
very,
cookie supplier.
right.
I was very lucky this year. I teamed up with my cookie sponsor, Constance. You know, I got I was really to be so green in bass fishing. I was extremely blessed to have a title sponsor for this season. Bass Reaper Bait Company took me on, and they take awesome care, you know, of me. I don't need for anything, you know, as far as soft plastics, tungsten. You know, they're always developing new things, new colors. You know, so if there's a technique or a style that you're trying to fish, whether it be drop shot, Ned rig, shaky head, you know, Bass Reaper Bait Company, they have something for you. I mean, we got little human baits, you know, the changeling. If you look at it, it's got two little ears, two eyes, and a mouth, and he's got arms and legs.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, it's just really, you know, different but effective baits. You know, a new one that they just came out with is called the Cryptic Creature, and it's basically a flat style flipping bait, and they did the tractor tire design on the body, And when they put the crawls on it, instead of the crawls facing in, the crawls are faced out. So it's just a little bit different, technique. It gives them a little bit different look, and it's a very effective bait for flipping and pinching bushes. I don't like flipping grass. I love flipping bushes. I just want to make that clear. So between Bass Reaper, First Contact also is a sister company of Bass Reaper Bait Co. And I was fortunate enough to get on with them. All the tungsten you can think of. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? Picking up.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about what I absolutely love about First Contact is they're not out here never chip tungsten, never did, all that stuff. Because I don't care how much powder coating or whatever you put on that tungsten, it's going to chip eventually.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Their thing is make first contact, and
Right.
that's what they build it around, and that, they're not telling you our weights will never chip or anything like that. And every weight has the weight that it is stamped on the side, whether it's an 1/8 ounce teardrop drop shot weight, whatever it is, you could throw them all in a box and you could figure out what you needed by just boom, real quick, So
yeah, that's really nice to have.
Real nice, real easy. And,
yeah.
And they don't chip. They really don't chip too much. Like I said, I drug a black piece of tungsten from First Contact for like 3 months, and it's just now starting to turn silver. It's just so it's gonna chip, but it's not chipping super quick, and they're not out there promoting the never chip and this and that and the other. And I really like that aspect of it. I wish I had some of his jigs in here to show you guys, but Bite Me Baits of Kentucky. He is my jig sponsor, and every jig that you order from Bite Me Baits of Kentucky, once you make that order, you choose your color, you choose the head, you choose the size, you choose everything you want. And then once you place your order, that's when that jig is made. So you're not ordering a bunch of, jigs with rubber skirts and this. You order it, he hand ties every one of them. So they're all hand tied skirts. He hand pours them, he hand paints them. And there's a bluegill color right now that is by far my favorite. I just got 12 of them the other day. And it is a fish catching machine. So if you guys are interested in spinner baits, buzz baits, jigs, he's the go-to, seriously, because his spinner baits are really unique too, because most spinner baits, it's just the little loop, and then you tie your string, and your string can slide up and down and all that. Well, he actually twists his, so instead of it just being the loop, you actually have an eye that you can tie to. So your line, if your knot gets a little loose, it's never going to slide up or anything like that. So I really like that part about it, because I always had an issue with spinner baits and my line moving around and stuff like that. But
if you don't use them, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. But I use them. I throw a spinner bait every now and again.
Yeah, same here.
Every
Same
now
here.
and again.
I have a couple hundred, and they don't get as much use as they should.
Yeah, I think
But they're pretty.
Like 10 spinner baits. 10 spinner baits. That's all I got.
Okay.
That's how much I don't throw a spinner bait.
Yeah.
I got a shout out to my bank robbers family. Bank robbers fishing. I've been with those guys ever since they started the group, and it's basically, yes, it's a company. Yes, they sell backpacks and pliers and, grippers and stuff like that. And that's really cool. But the whole idea of the group was to give to the bank angler, because there's so many stuff for people with boats and this and that and the other. There wasn't a group, a Facebook group designed for the bank angler where bank anglers could get together and share, you know, techniques and ideas and stuff like that. And then, you know, we started Bank Robbers, and it really blew up. But if you guys are in need of a tackle bag, that's where I would go. I would send you to bankrobbers.com. Their tackle bag. I don't use the tackle bag because I don't bank fish, but the way I use it is I pack all my toiletries. So I'll put like 4 towels in it, like 4 full-size towels, all my toiletries for the week that fits in this bag, and I still have more room that I can put in there. So the people that do use it for a tackle box or a tackle bag, they say you can put like 4 or 5 of the big Plano boxes. So it's got a lot of room in it.
Wow. I was gonna say
for
those
the
things
price,
are big.
for the price point, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
You cannot beat it for the price point.
Not that.
I think that's all my sponsors. Yeah. Other than that,
I'm glad you
Mrs.
mentioned me
Bulldog over
first.
here. Yeah.
What's that?
We got Mrs. Bulldog over here.
Yeah.
That's my main sponsor is my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your whole backbone.
Yeah, that is definitely the backbone. Because without her, I couldn't do any of this. I'm gonna be honest, and I'll be straightforward. I wouldn't be fishing. I'd probably be homeless if it wasn't for her, because she keeps me in line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's same with me. I mean,
Yeah.
Full-time job.
I mean, ain't that what being a wife is a full-time job? See, you don't only have one kid. Constance has 2 kids. John has 1.
That's right.
Yeah. See, my wife has 3 kids. I have 2.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just a big kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
12-year-old mind, right?
That's it. Never grow up. Never
Nope.
grow up.
No. Growing up is like not learning. You're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my dad used to say, growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. So.
Yeah. I wish they were both optional.
I know, right? Yeah, right.
Oh, you're not kidding.
I think if I could say like 28, that was pretty good. Like,
I need to go back before 22 because that's when I started having back problems. Was 22.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Before back problem.
Hey, it's the Army because I got my back problems from the Army.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I still remember my last ruck march. It was a 3-day event, a total of like 36 miles. I didn't make it because my back was already so jacked up. And when I weighed my rucksack, it weighed 96 pounds. I only made it 18 miles. And we dropped our packs. I picked mine back up, and that was it. Like, I couldn't move. Like, I was done.
God.
So they came and picked me up. Had to go to the ER and do all that good stuff.
Some people do anything to get out of a good road march.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, I can tell you when mine was. My last road march was basic training.
Yeah, you kind of had cushy jobs after that, didn't you?
It wasn't a cushy job. Now, if you ask Corey what his field duty was compared to mine,
so mine
he would say
operating equipment.
Yeah, see, mine was a 4-star hotel.
Yeah, we stayed in tents. You're lucky if you had AC. I don't ever remember having AC in the field. That's like,
hey,
I see all these people. I saw just the other day. It like blew my mind. This kid, he goes, caught me a few in basic training. He's holding up a bass. And I'm like, bro, how are you fishing in basic training?
Right.
We had a 4-day. Like, he goes, we had a 4-day. Like, what is a 4-day in basic training?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
there was no days off in basic training when I went.
No.
None. It was 9 weeks straight through. You worked every day.
Yep.
Jeez.
Hey, everybody went to church because if not, you had detail.
Yeah. Everybody got real religious real quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I only went to church because the PX was right next to it, and I could sneak in there real quick and get some contraband and take it back to the barracks.
There you go.
yeah, that didn't happen to us. They had drill sergeants standing at the door.
Oh.
Well, we had you know, basic training is like the red, the white, the blue phase. You know,
Yep.
you gotta go through. Yeah, I don't even know what we went from red to blue. Like, and we went from red, and then we put the blue on graduation day. Like, never
Yeah.
made it out of that first phase.
Yeah.
It was.
So-
It was all mine. You know what is what it was.
Yeah. You know, break you down, build you up.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
I had
fishing,
fun
man.
basic training.
Oh,
I
I did too.
You
know, he had fun
So,
in basic.
all right,
Oh,
here's
Candace did
my
too.
basic
She
training
loved
story
it.
real quick. And
All
this
right.
is, I've realized not to be a smartass in the Army after this, right? So I didn't know any better. I started shaking when they're calling you for your platoon. Like, we've
Right.
already went through all that. The shark attack already happened. You know, they're calling you to your platoons. Well, I locked my knees, so I'm shaking, you know, because obviously I'm losing
gosh.
blood flow. I'm shaking. Little bitty female drill sergeant comes up and she goes, "Why are you shaking, Private? Do I scare you?" And I was like,
Yep.
"No, you don't scare me, drill sergeant." Mm-mm. About that time, like, this behemoth of a man comes up behind me. He's like, "Oh, I bet I scared you." You know, I was like, "Yeah, you scared me a little bit, drill sergeant. I ain't gonna lie." She goes, "Oh, he scares you, but I don't. You better hope you don't come to my platoon." I was like, "Okay." They start calling off last names, you know. They get through M, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming up soon." Pass all the way through N. Skip me. I was the last private standing out there, and she goes, "Private Null, guess where you're coming?" I said, "Oh, let me guess. You're platoon drill sergeant." She's like, "Yeah, smart ass. Get your butt over here." So I run over there. I go to get in formation, and she goes, "You're my platoon guide, and you will not be fired for 9 weeks. Whatever your platoon does, you're getting in trouble for it." So I became a platoon guide at the very beginning, and then everything they did, I got in trouble for. And at first I was like, "Man, this sucks. This is a horrible punishment, you know, this, that, and the other." But at the end of it, I was like, I think that made me a better soldier.
Yes, it does.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, because when I got to my first duty station, because all the way through basic and AIT, like, I was the platoon guide and then the class leader, all because of that first day making that smart remark, you know. So when I got to my first duty station and I was the lowest ranked person there, I didn't know what to do. You know, I'm used to telling people, "Hey, go clean this up, go do this," you know, and then I get there and everybody's telling me what to do. I was like, "No, it hasn't been this way for 18 weeks. I don't know."
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. We're a little bit longer than normal, but hey, it's all good. We're all having fun. So I'm gonna put you on pause here, close out, and I'll come right back to you.
All right.
All right, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Mommy, are you gonna talk to me
And
All right, everybody. That was Corry Null of the NPFL. Thank you very much for watching. Apologize, we went a little too long,
That's okay.
but yeah, it was.
We had fun.
We had a good time. All right. So thank you very much.